What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for October 27th, 2025. Happy Halloween, by the way. Not much happened this week, but there is a lot of big stuff coming in the next few days, I guess. Nyx, of course, is one of those things, and with an Evo test coming up, but the current patch is not doing so hot. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first Week in Review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about them. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike. So stop by and say hi if you haven't yet. I always enjoy seeing you guys stop over there. We have a little bit to get into, not a whole lot, but before we do, let me share with you today's sponsor. So I recently found out, and I'm a little embarrassed, that I forgot to cancel a subscription that I had for an MMO that I haven't played in a really long time. And today's sponsor, Rocket Money, is here to help with that. Rocket Money is the personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better. I'm using Rocket Money to cancel those unwanted subscriptions. It's actually really neat. You can either use the app to let you know how to cancel it yourself, or give them a little personal information. They will actually cancel it on your behalf if one of them might be giving you the runaround. I'm also using Rocket Money to help set budgets and make sure I'm not spending needlessly, like on a bunch of replacement PC parts when I really only needed one. That happened not too long ago. Rocket Money has helped save its customers up to $740 a year when they use all the app's premium features, with over 880 million in canceled subscriptions. To save more or spend less, join the over 5 million members using Rocket Money today. Go to rocketmoney.com/SaltEMike or click the link in the description to get started for free. You can also unlock even more features if you use premium. That's once again rocketmoney.com/SaltEMike to get started for free today. All right, and of course, with all the bills paid, we have a little bit to cover. So let's jump into some patch updates. All right, so nothing happened on Monday, nothing happened on Tuesday, so we meet you guys on Wednesday with downtime. The game went down for quite a long time. I think it was supposed to be 3 hours, it ended up being an additional 3-ish. But when things came back up, there were a lot of issues that were resolved. Things where players were not able to sell commodities at the TDD. And you guys rightly mentioned that in the comments of last week's video of, you know, what was in 4.3.2. And that is, I would say, fixed for now, as I had no issues selling, but the word is that it caused an exploit where people can make infinite money. Literally an infinite money glitch. I tried to do it. I couldn't get it to work, but yeah, it is a thing. It's there. They also seem to fix an issue that started to come up. I didn't run into this issue because I did the event early, but as you know, the event, as time goes on, degrades. If you remember Supply and Die, that's what happened. You were not able to pick up the datapad in the datapad missions. That appears to be fixed now as well. Wicklow is another story. More on that shortly when we get into roadmap updates, but the missions are picking up at location, for lack of better words, unless you have the bug that I have for favor missions, which I know a lot of people do. And it's really showing here when it says you don't have the requirements. There are no requirements. So hopefully them seeing this clip or other issue councils around this helps them fix that, because we were all sitting around hoping that this update would fix that bug, but it didn't. There are a ton of issues still, though, namely loot crates are still a problem outside of this hotfix, so more hotfixes need to come, to be honest, including for those new armors that are in the Stanton distro centers for the new event stuff. Well, not event, but the new Wicklow stuff. And yeah, look here at Ruin with those weapons. It just doesn't work. It's horrible. Then on Wednesday, we had good news. A lot of this was not the best news, but Wednesday, good news. Really exciting message of the day, where they stated they want to go into 4.4 testing, which means Nyx as early as next week, which is great. Or as you're seeing this, as early as really soon. So that's pretty standard, but the new system is a new system, right? So however unpolished it is or empty the content might be in Evo, PTU, or even live, it's still going to feel pretty fresh, right? It's still going to feel pretty cool. And then the big one, in my opinion, was that they want to go to an engineering preview later in the week. I haven't been shouting from the rooftops and so on because on Friday, they revised the post to say as early as Monday next week, which is, it just, obviously we didn't get the engineering test this week. And that means that they aren't doing anything over the weekend or didn't plan on doing anything over the weekend. So everyone just chill. That's what they were telling you. Just chill out, enjoy your weekend, and we'll pick this back up on Monday. With that, those are all the patch updates we had. They did one hotfix when 4.3.2 is worse than it's ever, since they started fixing the stability issues with elevators, doors, and just general stability. In my opinion, this has been the most broken patch. Not because significant things are super broken, like Hathor was probably worse, but this is the most little things that are broken. It feels like over the year they have started to let things degrade, or they rushed this one, or something. Something happened. This one's a little bit of a mess. Tell me what your experiences are. But yeah, for me, most of the content that I enjoy isn't working. So that's not very fun. And yeah, with that, let's move into roadmap updates. All right, so we start out like most roadmap updates these days with cards that we already know that they're just closing and, crossing their T's and dotting their I's. Like all of the weapons that are in 4.3.2 being added. Although, like we said, you can't really loot them at the moment because of a bug. So I don't know if the knife is on the loot table, to be honest. So let me know in the comments if it is, but I believe it's in the CitizenCon pack, the goodie pack. So that's why that's listed there. 4.3.2 ships, the 3 ships that we saw at CitizenCon are obviously in as well. The Paladin, the Shiv, and the whatever the Vandal one is that nobody's flying because it's just not that great right now. And then mission pickup on location. This is exactly what I was hoping for it not to be. So that's why I said wait for roadmap updates, because I would kind of talk about this here. You basically go to a job board, but it isn't even condensed to one board. You have to walk around an entire location to pick up a job. And you have to know where that job actually is in order to pick it up. I think many of us were hoping to see jobs appear in our Moby Glass or somebody call us on our Moby when we hit a certain rank or did a certain thing or went to a certain location. This may be, from a tech perspective, meaningful to them though, so let's keep that in mind and not put them down in this case. I just don't know if this is a great design decision simply because of the fact that you have to walk significantly, where other games just kind of keep it really condensed and you go to a board and you scroll through a list. I don't get it personally. Let me know if you guys like it. It does feel kind of cool with the display and the image where you see what the recipe is. So like I like that, but functionality wise, it isn't what should be there when the game launches, and we should be working towards things that are in the game launch. So if this is a tech thing, cool. If it's not, back to the drawing board, boys. Big time. Then we get into the good stuff, 4.4 stuff. And let's start really small. The Arcite Meteor and the Guardian MX are added to Wicklow. We're waiting on their picture, so we don't know what they look like, and we don't know what their status is for buying them in-game. I don't recall if they're in-game or not, if you can buy them. So Guardian MX is a ship that I'm interested in. The Meteor, not so much. 4.4 weapons. We see some new weapons that were a big surprise. Triple Down, which is a shotgun pistol, that's our third shotgun-like pistol. I don't know how many of those we need. Let me know if we need more, if you feel we do. And then the rocket launcher that we saw at CitizenCon Direct. Those are going to be in 4.4. Interstellar cargo and external freight elevators are next. These are fine, similar to mission pickup. This is tech that we need to have exist in the game, right? Being able to track a mission across systems at the very least is something that we needed. I don't like the place that cargo missions are necessarily in right now, at least from a reward perspective, but at least they mention the ability to be attacked by NPCs while running these. Then the freight elevators. There are so many red flags here for me. There's no mention of these in Stanton, number one, and the Hull C experience is still incredibly broken in 4.3.2. Maybe this is so broken because they plan to really dive in and fix it for 4.4. I don't believe that because they have dived in and tried to fix Hull C hauling and stuff plenty of times. Now, maybe they feel like getting rid of the way we haul Hull C for right now is the best thing to do. Could be, could not be. But most importantly, the game does not protect players from cargo-related griefing. I don't use the G word very often, but and I don't even know if it's really considered griefing. This is a just bad design decision from the get-go with CIG to have open areas where people can use tractor beams, or the freight elevator design in the first place where somebody brings up cargo, can knock you off the freight elevator and just send it down. Like the barrier to pirating a player, or the barrier to griefing a player, I think in a place that has an armistice zone, is broken, right? What is going to be different about external freight elevators? They sound exactly the same. So they're building upon a foundation that has what is their foundation? Loose sand, right? So that's a thing where I have my concerns here. Hopefully, and I'm still here, so I remain hopeful. Hopefully they understand that this is a problem. Hopefully with freight elevators, they have come up with smart solutions to this problem. But we need to see it. We need to jump into 4.4 to actually know. Now the big stuff. Like they said at CitizenCon, we would be seeing Nyx in November. So they start out with missions that are basically mentioning some of the things that we saw at CitizenCon with the factions that we might have to fight. And of course, the jump points they highlight with the retcon, and the only real retcon that I'm aware of being in Nyx is the planet's changing or a retcon as well, right? But Nyx having a jump point to and from Stanton is kind of a big one. And then, of course, because we were supposed to go from Stanton to Pyro to Nyx, is my understanding, and I thought that would have made it feel like linear progression through the systems. It would have felt good. We don't have a lot of linear kind of progression stuff, so yeah. I would have liked it. I know a lot of people wouldn't. I think quantum travel would have had to change significantly in order for this to work. There's obviously a lot of issues, so it being there for now is fine. But when they take it out, people are just going to get upset. Look at Tier 0, right? Then, of course, they mentioned the kind of system itself, the Glacium Ring, which is where all the kind of life will be at the start, at least, until they get the planets in. Because, again, nowhere were planets mentioned as coming into this, so assume that they won't. Next, the landing zone cards. So Delamar, which is, the actual planetary body or the big asteroid that Levski takes place in. And of course, since the Starfarer never really did its thing so far, and yeah, we need some convenience in the game, there's plenty of refueling stations around. Vandal-related missions are next, and more details on the mission with, like, the new faction, but it feels like an event, to be honest, the way they're describing it. Then armors. 2 armors. One of them is being added in some way. I assume you're just going to loot around and find them in containers because they think that's great design. And then however they want to do it, right? And then the second one is how you earn it in Wicklow, or the one that you will earn in Wicklow, which is crazy looking. Very polarizing. Some people like it, some people don't. And then the last thing is 4.4 hair updates, which is not hair as much. There was one, and then the rest is a ton of facial hair updates. So good on them for doing that. And then, yeah, that is it. So we'll move on to other updates. All right, real short other updates section. Again, it was like almost like they went on hiatus after CitizenCon when they didn't do a CitizenCon. So it was pretty funny. We'll start out with the sneak peek. This is just the Perseus again, but this time it's highlighting its torpedo bay. For people who, like me, don't know, because I don't follow the ship sales as much, because it's just, there's one every 5 minutes. I never knew this ship had torpedoes. I thought this was like, again, the Polaris with guns. So yeah, it's not only smaller, but it also has a torpedo bay with a bunch of smaller torps. And yeah, they're certainly gearing up for IAE and the ship sales there. I'm looking forward to that. Those are the kind of ship sales that I actually find a bit fun, a little bit. But yeah, those like IAE and Invictus are the 2 times of the year where it's like, do your thing, CIG, sell away. But the rest of the year, I wish they focused more on the patches. Then, more ship sale stuff. They announced the buyback schedule, the buyback token schedule. So for people who don't know what these are, every time you return a ship for store credit, that ship goes actually into a list that is called your buyback. And you can buy them back for real money at any time, or on these dates, you will receive a token where you're allowed to use your store credit to buy it back. I think you can hold 2 tokens at any given time. And if you use those up, then you have to wait for one of these dates to get your next one. So, for example, I think most people who bought the Bano Merchantman, it's in buyback because they don't expect the ship to come out. And they use that store credit to enjoy other ships in the game. But if the Bano Merchantman ever gets made, they can melt those ships for store credit and buy their Bano Merchantman back with that store credit using one of these tokens. So that's how that works. That's the schedule for it. And that's where we leave this week. A very, very slow week. I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077 all week, and it's been awesome. Like, just seeing mission design in a game that is like single player, so they're able to be more curated or just better than what we have, is eye-opening. I have played Star Citizen for way too long, and I am way too Star Citizen brained, and I think a lot of the guys who are watching this video are probably the same. Get out there, enjoy other games. It is really fun, and I think a week like this was the perfect time to do it. Not much was happening in game. I already did my event progression, so I just enjoyed it. I am, at the same time, so excited for engineering, just getting an idea for what it feels like, diving into it and seeing how deep or how not deep it is. And same with Nyx. They were not very entirely open of what we were going to be playing exactly, because they said, and so much more over and over again. So seeing what's actually there is really exciting as well. So with that, that's the show. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, and yeah, subscribe for more weeks in review, and leave a comment down below on anything that we discussed or anything you think I might have missed. Again, like last week, I missed the TDD not working. There's lots of bugs in game. No need to list them out down below. CIG's not like they're going to look at them, right? And but outside of that, how are you enjoying the event? How's your progress going? And how excited are you guys for these updates? Unfortunately, everything sounds like it's going to be pretty NDA at the start for 4.4, which is just goofy and silly at this point. So comment down below on that, and yeah, I'll catch you guys next week.